He's here representing Verizon. Hey, I've sent them an email. Watch this be the hard one in Jacksonville.
All right, it's time to call our meeting to order. It's Monday, October the 8th at 6 o'clock, and we're glad you're all here. Thank you for being here. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Frank to lead us in the invocation, please.
Let us pray. O wise and everlasting Father, we come at this appointed hour of the evening. Father, we just pray that you'll be in our midst and in our decision making here this evening. We thank our fellow Saludans for coming out tonight. These and other blessings we ask in Jesus the Christ. Amen.
Amen. If you will, let's stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'm going to entertain a motion for approval of the minutes for September 10th meeting. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on our minutes? If not, we'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, as chairman, vote yes. The minutes are approved. This time we have any reports from our county officials.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to say this weekend is going to be an exciting time down in Rich Spring. We're having Harvest Festival. Bingo is Thursday night. Bring some money and you'll have a good time down there. Look forward to seeing you.
Just good to see everybody. So completely different from last month's meeting.
I don't have any reports tonight. Thank you.
Nothing but be prepared Wednesday. A lot of water coming this way.
That's right. Yeah, watch another storm coming through, so make sure you're prepared. And if you have generators, make sure they're fueled up and everything's in place. And again, thanks for being here. We wish you were here every month for our meetings. All right, at this time I'm going to open the floor for a public hearing on ordinance number 09-18. This is an ordinance to grant an easement on property owned by Saluda County located on Industrial Park Road, Saluda, South Carolina. We didn't have anyone to sign up to speak. Is there anyone to speak tonight?
That's about the property on.
You're for the cell phone tower,
Right.
correct? Okay.
Okay.
This is not it. All right. If not, we'll close the public hearing at this time.
Monopole.
And this location is for capacity and coverage objectives to kind of fill in the southwest Saluda County area. It'll help with coverage from Bottom Road to the west and Penn Creek and Highway 121 and 193 as it goes down. And this location did have a balloon test advertised and conducted. We provided some photo simulations and a pretty lengthy packet with indications of how we comply with the ordinance. And I won't get into all that in depth right now, but I'm happy to answer questions about any of those items. So I guess I'll leave it for there right now and wait to see what kind of questions and comments there are.
Okay, thank you. Mr. James Pope, I think you signed up to speak.
Yes.
Will, you'll need to come to the mic, please, so we can make sure you go on record. Thank you, sir.
Hello, everybody. I see a lot of our members that know me from here. I left Saluda. I stayed away from here 59 years. I'm back. I've been in 15 different states. I know a lot of stuff to talk about. That experience is a bad boy. You go to school all you want to, but ain't nothing like the experience. So what I'm saying, I think the gentleman was up there, he was from that. So my land is joining at 1,500 feet. And before we had that line ran, it was mixed up, a little mix up there. I want to make sure they right before they get the towers up there. We have to go redo these structures or something. But that's why I'm concerned about it. I don't know if I should have a line. They should. I guess they had the line ran or something. I don't know how they do it, but I know it was a mix up. Now I know the guy. I know that place. Cause my place, but I lived there for all my time, all my life. I knew that. I knew that place. And then what I'm saying, I hope to get it right, cause the line, he was too far on the line before. And so that's why I want to mention this when they get, put all their towers and they got to tear them down or something, Okay, that's all I have to say. I'd like it for them to get in contact with me right there.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Pope. Mr. Weingarten, do you have any idea of what he's talking about with that?
It looks like he's the owner just to the east. I'm not sure what happened, if he had a survey crew or something that was mixed up or something. I don't know the details of that, but we do show in our survey that we submitted the tower to be on the correct property and not over his line, and there should be no access or anything through his property. So we'll make sure not to trespass and not to affect any of the utilities or anything to do with his property.
Do you know what the radius of the coverage of this tower will be?
I'm not an expert on that from an RF standpoint. I know the streets they mentioned was like Bonham Road to the west, and 121 and 193 to the east. And your expert might be able to address that more, because I know she studied the RF submissions and kind of the justification for the tower. But it'll fill the gap.
No, it's not.
From the coverage that's currently provided from Saluda and from another site to the north. It's going to kind of add on to that going south towards Johnson City, kind of fill in that gap between Saluda and Johnson City.
All right. Thank you.
Did y'all receive the binders?
Yes.
And I don't have my binder with me, unfortunately, but you should have one that have the propagation maps in it, which will show you some of the coverage areas. Yes, ma'am. Can I look at you for that? Sorry, put them in the phone. Should be under, well, she didn't have tabs here, I'm sorry.
Item 14.
Yeah, it's tab 14, but there's no tabs, you can't see it.
When you find it, would you hold it up so we can see where to go to?
Yes, ma'am. It doesn't have any page numbers. Y'all wanna find it? Yeah. What'd you take this? See, it shows before and after, right here to right there. And it really, there's no really scale miles here. But generally, when they have a search ring, it's normally, and that's what they have to get their site within, it's normally about 1/4 of a mile. So these don't carry as far as they used to, or your phones don't carry back to them as far as they used to. There you go. Thank you. Anything else?
All right, is there anyone else to speak to the Verizon Tower?
Yes, I would like to ask some questions. My name is Almstein Buller, and we also own some property over in that area. And my concern is what's the health risks for having a tower in that area, and it's gonna depreciate your property? Is that gonna be happening?
As far as property values, and I've been doing this since 2003, and I've had witnesses on both sides, as far in a hearing. Some saying that it affects the property areas, some other ones saying it doesn't affect the property values, excuse me. And it's always a washout, to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
As far as the health concerns, the federal government has basically taken that off the table, so the county can't even consider that.
The county can't consider it?
No, ma'am.
Well, would there be any health issues?
There,
Does the county
the studies go back and forth. I will tell you, the big studies that have a lot of backing as far as money shows no health concerns. I know there's independent studies that show that there are.
Right.
So it's, you know, I can't call it.
Okay, all right, okay, well, at least we know there could be some health concerns, right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I mean, just like with everything, the longer these things are in place, the more studies there are, the more data there is. So yes, it's always a
And it could
possibility.
be some depreciation of your property value.
That I have not seen. I honestly haven't. I've seen areas where there's no coverage, and that honestly depreciates the property value because people want coverage.
True.
I mean, they really do, and a lot of people that work from home and so on and so forth, they won't move in an area that doesn't have it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Ms. Almstein. Thank you.
I'd also point out too on the health issue, we did submit as item number 13, there was a statement from the radio frequency engineer indicating the limits would be below what the FCC requires. And then also item 15 is what they call a categorical exclusion checklist, which if you're at least 10 meters off the ground and broadcasting in the frequencies that we do, they've deemed that to be not a concern, and so they exclude it from further investigation. Whether people agree with the FCC or not on that, that's kind of the other issue, but as far as complying with the standards of the FCC as they are now, we can comply with it.
Okay, thank you. All right, if there's no one else to speak, we will close the public hearing at this time. All right, we're going to move to old business. Entertain a motion for the third reading on ordinance number 09-18. It's an ordinance to grant an easement on property owned by Saluda County located on Industrial Park Road, Saluda, South Carolina. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Is there any discussion on this? All right, if not, we'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote? Yes. District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I as chairman vote yes. All right. The second is we'll recognize Ms. Kathy Hendricks Devlin for the request of Piedmont Agency on Aging for the fiscal year 2018-2019 funding. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. My name is Kathy Devlin, and I represent Piedmont Agency on Aging. And I'm here to request that council consider reinstating our allocation for this fiscal year, $6,500, for the senior services that we provide to the county. And I'll be brief in my remarks. We have served Saluda County since January of 2017, and we made the decision to come and serve this county really for 3 reasons. Number 1 was Dan Hancock's personal commitment to seniors. Number 2, the really exceptional volunteer support that we saw here. And number three, the track record that Saluda County Council had in providing financial support for services here. And since that time, in the last year and 9 months, we have provided 40 to 45 home-delivered meals to homebound seniors in Saluda, Ridge Spring, and Del Mar. We have operated 2 nutrition sites in Saluda and the Del Mar community, serving about 25 to 30 seniors a day. And we have written and prepared and been awarded a $60,000 grant to purchase a new cutaway bus to provide transportation exclusively in Saluda County. And council did provide matching funds for that vehicle, just over $8,000. So we came here with every intention of staying and investing in the county. That was our desire. I know that over the last 15 years, I believe that 3 different organizations have been in and out of Saluda County providing services here, but only on a temporary basis. So we have brought some stability to the seniors here in Saluda. And over the last year and 9 months, we have seen quite a bit of support from council diminish. We lost all of our funding July 1st. And last fall, we were encouraged to find other meeting space for our group dining site in Saluda. And we've had to move back to the old senior center on Butler Avenue. It's a facility, as all of you know, that is quite in limbo with the federal lien. It belongs to Saluda County Council on Aging, which is no longer in existence or only on paper. And we won't be able to remain there as long as that facility is in limbo because we can't maintain a facility that we don't own. So we are looking for other program space that we can afford as well. But we ask for your consideration tonight, and I hope that you will consider the value of the work that we do. Our work is entirely to help seniors remain independent and at home for as long as they can, and out of institutional care, such as nursing home care. It's a very low-cost, affordable, community-based program, and we're going to be hard-pressed to continue to work in Saluda without your support. We are estimating that it costs about $13,000 a year for us to operate here. We're not asking for all of that from council. We're asking for about half of that, but that half is extremely important to us. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Okay. Actually, let me get this motion made first, and then we'll discuss and ask questions, okay?
Sure.
I'd like to entertain a motion to fund Piedmont Agency on Aging $6,500 for the fiscal year of 2018-19 from contingency. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Now, if there's any discussion, if you have questions, ask those at this time.
I appreciate everything that you all have done. And I am one of those that I would be in favor of restoring the $6,500, and I just want you to know that.
I've got a question about the $13,000 that it takes to run the whole senior center overall.
Right.
So if we fund you the $6,500, where does that actually leave you, like, as far as continuing to operate here? I know you have to come up with some other money. Where does that revenue come from, and is it sustainable? Because only giving you a portion of it.
Right. We came fully expecting to have to invest financially in Saluda County, so we have some unrestricted dollars that we invest in that. But that includes salaries for staff that work here, and also any difference in the cost of services and what we're actually reimbursed from our federal and state contracts. So we do have some flexibility to provide that support. And we're also launching this fall a direct mail campaign in Saluda. A number of local citizens, I think the total is just over 1,700, received a letter from us in the last 2 weeks asking for financial support. That takes time to build, and I know the community has seen a lot of different organizations come and go, and they may be reluctant to get behind us until they see our plans to stay. But we hope we can raise eventually in the next couple of years the balance of what the true cost is to operate here.
And I have a question, which you and I know have what the history of what became of the board, this and that and the other. And as I have been thinking about this board and asking questions about it, and it no longer exists, and the reasons is because of financial issues, that is the reason why the building is in limbo. Okay. During all of this time that the board was in existence, and by the way, this was not a county appointed board, this was a group that filed for a 501c3 and formed up themselves, not attached to the county, even though it was called the Saluda County Council on Aging. So and I know that what we have been providing over the past several years is, it's pretty easy to tell that doesn't fund an annual budget for you all. That's pretty easy to tell. So funding has been coming from somewhere else, state and federal, I would assume. Was there ever anyone, and I don't recall ever seeing it or hearing any conversation about it. We never even really heard any conversation about the board until we found out what all was going on over there. Was there ever anyone from Piedmont Council, because you all were not there at the time, but I don't know, Upper Savannah or someone who would have called for an audit of the board's finances or anything? I've never quite figured any of that out.
And really, I could not speak to that because we've only been in Saluda since last year. And I had no experience with Saluda County Council on Aging, and I really could not speak to who was in the know about the viability of that organization. But I can tell you that our organization has to have annual audits.
Yours does.
We do, and I think that's pretty typical for programs like ours.
So someone who forms up a 501c3, are they accountable to anyone?
They're accountable to their board of directors, and the board of directors is the legal entity that is legally responsible for that building and for what happens there.
So someone fell asleep at the wheel, is what it sounds like, somewhere in the past.
It's very unfortunate.
But as far, yes, it has been, but as for me, our senior citizen group is very viable, and they're very important to this county. I would like to see that amount, $6,500, restored, and I'll say that on the record. I think it should never go away.
Thank you.
Do you see any resolution to the federal issue regarding that building?
From what I've understood, the most recent attempt to resolve it involved Lindsey Graham's office, and they felt like that was the best shot at getting it resolved. But ultimately, it's going to take persons on the Saluda County Council on Aging Board of Directors to initiate that contact. And from what I understand, there's several on that board that are now deceased, and others that are very elderly. In nursing home care even, I understand. So the chances that will happen now honestly seems very slim. But that's the latest that I'm aware of.
If the federal government were to kind of push down on you, I guess you would technically have to get out of that building?
We will, definitely, but we feel we need to take that initiative already because we've had some repair issues come up, and we just don't feel it's been a very smart use of our money to repair a building that we don't own and that we don't have a future there. So that is our situation.
At some point, the hope is that those liens become stable. They're not, they do stable, if the government doesn't step in and re-up those liens. So we're talking years, it's not months, we're still talking years before the final fall off.
I think it's going to take someone who is just personally committed to seeing it resolved, and before these board members completely die away and there's hope that it can be resolved, I think that's going to have to be done pretty soon.
I'm just asking a question. Isn't Lindsey Graham running this year? This would probably, if he is, it'd be a good time to contact him. Okay. 2020? Okay.
Yeah, and his office has been helpful. But they feel that, what I understand is the IRS is gonna have to have some sort of settlement. So where would that money come from? You know, I think the latest figure was $120,000. And that they will likely not walk away from that without some settlement. Yeah.
Mr. Dublin, I thank you for coming tonight. I thank the Delmar community for coming, and I thank y'all for coming to Saluda County to help with the Council on Aging. And I'd like to show of support here tonight, and it's a worthwhile program for the seniors of Saluda County.
Right.
And I thank you for all that you do for this community.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to say this, because most people don't come to our meetings, they don't come to our budget work sessions and stuff. We did not pick out this organization to cut. We did it all the way across the board because we knew that we would be faced with, if you picked one and didn't do the other, that we would really have a tough time. And as I told you on the phone, we definitely welcomed you to come back to talk to us, because to me this shows signs of people really needing, because we know there's some organizations out there that really don't need our funding. They just want free money. And we know the ones that really need it will show up and support, and that's what we wanted to see, was to see the real need of needing the money, because we've been elected as officials for Saluda County to take good care of the taxpayers' monies and not just to throw it away to everything that comes along. So thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you very much.
All right. Any other questions, discussion? All right, so I'm going to call for the vote at this time. Let me read the motion one more time, just to make it clear. The motion is to fund the Piedmont Agency on Aging $6,500 for the fiscal year of 2018-2019 from contingency. So call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, as chairman, vote yes. So this motion has passed. And again, let me say thank you again for being here. This is important for people to show up to our council meetings, to know what's going on, to let us know what's actually going on too. Okay, thank you again. This time we'll entertain new business. I'd like to entertain a motion for first reading on ordinance number 10-18, an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinance for Saluda County, South Carolina, Chapter 6, Building and Building Regulations, Section 6-7, Distance and Setback Requirements. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. And the proposed change will read like this: that no structure shall be located closer than 25 feet to the right-of-way of a street or closer than 20 feet from another structure. All structures must have a minimum setback of 10 feet from the property line. The current setback for a structure is 25 feet. And the reason for this is, if you've read your package, is there's someone owns a piece of property and they're supposed to be buildings 25 feet apart. Well, the first building can move up to a certain level, then the other one loses a whole lot of their property. So this is to balance out the, make it even for each property owner that lives next door. Is there any other discussion?
I'd just like to say, I think this makes perfect sense. I guess it was probably an oversight at some point in the past, but I've actually had several contractors mention this to me recently, so.
Okay.
I'm glad it finally came up, because I never got around to mentioning it.
Definitely. All right. No other discussion. We'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I as chairman vote yes. All right. This time we'll entertain a motion for the first reading on ordinance number 11-18. It's an ordinance to amend ordinance number 06-14 to change section 5, use of premises of the T-Hanger lease agreement attached to and made part of ordinance number 06-14. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, and this will be added to section 5A. Upon signing the lease agreement, the lessee has 30 days to place an airworthy craft in the hangar. Extensions may be granted on a case-by-case basis as approved by the Airport Commission. County Council, by the way of County Director, will be notified in writing of any extensions granted. All right, is any other questions or discussion at this time? All right, if not, we'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I as chairman vote yes. All right. All right, we have the special use permit for the cell tower. We'll entertain a motion to approve a special use permit with conditions as listed in the recommendation letter from the Center of Municipal Solutions for Cellco Partnership, doing business as Verizon Wireless, to construct a 190-foot monopole telecommunications tower with a 2-foot lightning rod with a total height of 192 feet, located at 268 Gabe Road, Johnston in Saluda County, South Carolina. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I would like to ask one more time though, this, as far as the property boundaries and stuff, this has been taken care of, you're sure of, or will be taken care of?
It will definitely be taken care of.
Okay, all right. I've seen you work before, so I believe this will be taken care of, but I wanted to make sure it was on the record that we asked and were concerned for our citizens.
You understand this, Mr. Pope?
Yes, I'm listening.
Okay.
I
All
hope
right.
we take care too.
We just wanted to make sure because you came to speak on that, and we want to make sure that it's taken care of.
You're doing the right thing.
But we also want to make sure that we have the communications we need in Saluda County too, okay?
That's right.
All right, so at this time, we're going to call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I as chairman vote yes. So the motion has been approved. All right, next we have consideration of administrative issuance and permit fees in regards to mobile manufactured homes in accordance with ordinance number 08-18. This time we'll entertain a motion to approve the following administrative issuance and permit fees in regards to mobile manufactured homes in accordance with ordinance number 08-18. Mobile manufactured home permit fees. And these have not been changed. So when I read them, don't think we've changed these, but they have not been changed. $200 for the first mobile manufactured home, $300 for each successive mobile home manufactured home. Decal application fee only, $25. Administrative and issuance fee, $25. Moving permit, $150. Demolition, $100. Reinspection fee, $50 and must be paid prior to any rescheduling. Failure to cancel a scheduled inspection or give notice of cancellation, $50. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
And really on council, one thing that's been changed on here is we've added the administrative assistant fee. Okay. Is there any other discussion or questions? Okay. I'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I as chairman vote yes. All right. This time we'll recognize Jill Warren, Assistant Emergency Management Director, for the consideration of assistance to firefighters grant requests for fire departments and EMS. Welcome.
This is actually a grant request that we put in for last year and we were turned down, so we want to try it again. This is for those radios, and we need a new communication system. And because of the expense of it, we're trying to go after as many grants as we can to help fund the radios. So this would be for fire and EMS. For the fire department, the need would be 36 mobile radios in the amount of $77,000, 80 portable radios in the amount of $175,000. EMS would be 9 mobile radios in the amount of $48,000 and 18 portable radios in the amount of $40,000 for a total of $340,000. And this grant does require a match. It's a 10% match required from the county of $34,000.
Make the motion, then we'll discuss this. This time I'll entertain a motion for staff to proceed with application for the assistance to firefighters grant for 36 mobile radios of, 36 mobile radios for $77,000, 8 portable radios for $175,000 for the fire departments, and 9 mobile radios, $48,000. And 18 portable radios for $40,000 for EMS, for a total amount of $340,000 with a 10% county match of $34,000 to be funded from contingency. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, any discussions or questions for Ms. Jill?
Do we know why we were turned down last year? Did they give us any reason?
The only thing they said in the letter was to look at the cost benefit, to maybe explain more in the cost benefit. So that's what we're gonna go back and address it a little bit more detail.
Will this completely outfit everything, or will we still need to fund some more to be fully switched over to the new system?
There'll be a need for some more radios, like with fire, the 80 portable radios. Well, you know, you have more firemen than that, but they only, in the AFG grant, only allow the number of seated positions in your fire trucks. So, you know, with all trucks added together, we have 80 seated positions. So we can only get 80 radios.
All right, any other questions?
Josh. Tell us a little more about these radios.
Okay, this is the radio system that we put out an RFP last year. This is the radio system that the committee selected and brought before council about a year ago. The radios themselves would allow us to move over into the digital platform, which is what we've discussed, and that should give us much better coverage throughout the county. Right now, that's our biggest problem with radio systems is the coverage. After narrowbanding in 2012, we lost a lot of coverage. Aside from putting in more towers and those types of things, it's hard to regain coverage. That's the purpose of this, is to start us down that path of moving on to that radio system.
Are these Kyner's radios?
Well, they're Kenwood radios.
They're through him?
That's who we got this particular one through, yes.
When will this grant, what's the deadline on it, and when would this be awarded?
The deadline is October 26th. As far as when it would be awarded, it could be 6 months to a year. We just received the letter, turn down letter, probably 3 weeks ago from last year. This is a huge federal grant, and it takes a while.
And as we discussed when this was presented before, right, I've ridden with deputies and other agencies, and we do have a major problem with communication on certain areas of our county, and that's got to be fixed. Got to be fixed. All right, any other questions? All right. Thank you, Ms. Stewart. So at this time, we'll call for a vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, as chairman, vote yes. So we can proceed with the grant request. This time we'll recognize Coroner Keith Turner for his request for reimbursement of expenses for 2017-18 Coroners Conference and request for funding for the 2018-19 Coroners Conference. Welcome, Mr. Turner.
Mr. Chairman, council members, Ms. Sanders, Ms. Gator. Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I'd like to say, first of all, I want to personally thank each and every one of you for last month, giving me the funds and to be able to hire a qualified person to help myself and Rodney. He has made a big difference, that being Doug Rushton. He's qualified, he's trained in a lot of stuff, and things are moving right along. And I just want to thank y'all personally for that. It's got my attention. We're moving forward, and we're going to stay moving forward. Mr. Chairman, I have 2 requests. Would you like for me to do them both, or you want to do one and vote on it, or another?
Go ahead and give us both of your requests, and then I'll probably break them down into different motions, okay?
Yes, sir. I'd like to request council to reimburse me in the amount of $1,071.41. That was for the 2017-2018 Coroners Conference, and the cost included lodging of $505.16, mileage of $209.25, meals of $57, and $300 for the registration and conference. This reimbursement was denied because of the spending freeze. However, I made my reservations for this conference in July of 18, and I respectfully request reimbursement for my annual conference. And I'd also like to ask council to reinstate the cost of the Coroners Conference for 2018-2019 in the amount of $1,609. These figures include lodging, meals, registration, and estimated mileage. As you can see from the attached papers you have, the conference has been moved and the rooms are a little more expensive, but I'll not let it get over the $1,609. I appreciate y'all's consideration in there.
All right, if you'll stay with us just for a minute, I'm going to make the first motion to reimburse Coroner Keith Turner for $1,071.41 for expenses for 2017-2018 Coroners Conference from contingency. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Let me ask you one question real quick.
Sir.
When did the actual request for last year's conference, I think you did that in January, was that not correct?
Reservations were made in January.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's what I wanted to make, because all this is going on record, so we'll
Yes,
make
sir.
sure it's put on there right. Okay?
Yes, sir. January 28th, to be exact.
Okay, thank you.
I'd say after seeing when the reservations were made, I think we made a mistake in not funding it initially. I guess, so I'm in favor of reimbursing you for this. And just to put it on the record for the rest of the council to kind of ponder over, I'd like to see things go through our purchasing department as opposed to employees or elected officials going and reserving things on their personal cards. I'd rather be everything to go through the county. I know that's a future discussion, but it's very relevant to this.
Actually, I think Ms. Sander and I have already talked about that. about it all coming through purchasing. That way people don't get lost in the shuffle and these kind of things happen.
You're not asking me, but I agree.
All right. Is there any other questions or discussion? All right, if not, we'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, as chairman, vote yes. So Mr. Kirby will be first.
Thank you, sir.
All right, make the second motion here. I'd like to entertain a motion to transfer $1,609 from contingency to line item number 15 of the Corners County budget for the 2018-2019 Corners Conference. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion or questions?
I'd just like to say the decision we made was based on the information that was provided to us. So, you know, we're only as good as the information that we receive or that we're able to find out.
I understand that fully, Mr. Ellis.
I'd just like to say, you know, you are the corner, you are the head of your department, the face of the department. From now on, I would love to see you bring every request to us. No confusion about it.
That will be, I hope I made that clear in the email to y'all. That's the way it will, I'm not going, it will be.
Okay.
We don't like middlemen. Thank you.
Thank y'all, I appreciate it.
Okay, so at this time, we'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, as chairman, vote yes. All right, this time, I'll entertain a motion for council to go into executive session pursuant to section 30-4-70 and of the South Carolina Code of Law 1976 as amended to discuss personnel in the Public Building Maintenance Department and also to receive legal advice on sale of county property and return and call the chair. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. District 1, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 2, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 3, how do you vote?
Yes.
District 4, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I, as chairman, vote yes. And we are in executive session. Just to let you know, there may be some action come from executive session on the personnel in the Public Building Maintenance Department. Thank you.